Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Benny Childs, founder of the Teach Me to Fish FX trading community, and I'm back with another supply and demand weekly Forex forecast. All right, so guys, let's lock in and let's get into it. Uh, let's start with the high impact news for the week. We have a lot of high impact news, so we are expecting volatility to hit the market. However, I want you all to be very careful because this is the last week of the month, and so you can expect a lot of fake outs. So, guys, make sure you're only taking the trades that you are sure about. Wait for your trade confirmations. All right. And again, as much as possible, only trade the trades that you are 100% certain about. Also, with that being said, guys, I just kind of want to share with you guys that I do follow the fundamentals of the market, and I kind of go a little bit more in depth with this inside of the trading community or membership videos. So, but again, my biases are typically based off of fundamentals. So just wanted to let you guys know that that is a huge part of my trading strategy. However, again, I am a technical trader, a technical supply and demand trader. And whatever the markets or whatever the charts show me, that is how I trade. All right. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and hop into it. All right, starting with the dollar index. Um, we have this pair here, the short-term currency bias, if you will, is long. We pretty much kind of have supply in control right now. We can see where this pair has been moving down over the past few days. All right, so supply is currently in control. However, I am looking for this first unmitigated demand zone to be tapped into, and I want to see how price is going to respond to this 4-hour demand. Now, we do have institutional demand right below it, as well as some unmitigated, or at least one unmitigated 4-hour demand zone. So before we see the dollar push up, we very well likely could see uh, imbalance being filled in, maybe getting a response off of this demand, but more than likely, we may have some institutional uh, buy orders that need to be closed out, or rather, institutional sell orders that need to be closed out here in this institutional demand zone, as well as some buy orders that need to be fulfilled. So, again, I'm just waiting to see what the market uh, will show me, or I just want to trade with the markets, guys. And again, for me, it's typically I'm looking for trades off of unmitigated supply and demand, unmitigated 4-hour supply and unmitigated 4-hour demand, waiting for my trade confirmation and confluences before I enter into a trade. All right. So again, short-term institutional bias is long for this pair, and I'm looking for demand to take control and stay in control um, before I get into the trade. However, if demand does not, then we're going to play, um, or we're going to take the supply or the short or the sell plays for the dollar index. So your pair, or not your pair, but your broker may not allow you to trade the dollar index, and that's fine. But we can still take a look at the dollar index chart to determine how the other major pairs will be traded. All right. With that being said, let's move on to Aussie USD. Aussie USD finished the week out sitting inside of institutional supply or distribution. Um, Aussie USD, it did pop off of a 4-hour supply here. So that may be a good indication that Aussie USD will follow the short-term currency bias, currency pair bias as us looking for shorts. All right, but we will want to see this demand zone be completely removed, and then that will most certainly let us know for the day or for the week that supply is certainly in control. So we are sitting, or we did tap into a 4-hour supply here. We are sitting inside of institutional uh, supply or distribution. So when the market opens on Sunday, then we'll just see how the market responds as far as who's in control, the buyers or the sellers, is supply in control, is demand in control. All right. Now, pound USD, the short-term currency bias, all right, is that I have is consolidation. Now, whenever I have the bias as consolidation for a pair, that does not mean that that pair cannot make new highs or new lows, or that we won't have any trades or that there won't be any big moves. Again, this is just a bias, and oftentimes, even though the bias is consolidation, especially with news coming out, um, we will see big moves. So again, for us as supply and demand traders, we simply wait for supply and demand, supply and or demand to be in control. All right. So maybe for the week, all right, maybe the weekly candle may close out as a doji, but Sunday through Friday, that pair is going up and down, bouncing off of supply here, bouncing off of demand there. All right, still allowing us to trade and be profitable. All right, so I just don't want you guys to, just because I say a pair is going to consolidate, that does not mean that we cannot trade that pair. Still watch for your unmitigated supply and demand zones to come into play, and still wait for your trade confirmations. All right, because you can still get some pretty big moves. All right, let's say, for instance, let's say this pair it opens up. All right, so we're here. Let's say this pair opens up, it comes in, taps into this 4-hour supply, and maybe maybe it taps in here, we get our trade confirmation, and we can get a play all the way down to fill in this imbalance right here. All right, let's see. Let's grab our ruler, and let's say maybe it taps right in at the top. All right, and if we get that play, all right, that's 229 pips. All right, that's a 229 pip move, even though the pair didn't necessarily break the unmitigated supply or demand. All right, it consolidated, but yet we still have a 229 pip move, and vice versa. This pair could possibly shoot down first, fill in the imbalance, and from the imbalance, pop up into here, uh, give us more. There's more room I see to the upside as to why this pair may push up. Taking out 4-hour supply here, filling in imbalance here, coming into other 4-hour supply. Though these have been mitigated, um, we could still have some sell orders that need to be fulfilled, or maybe we get a push all the way up into here, filling in imbalance and coming off of this 4-hour supply. So let's say, for instance, if it does do something like that, then let's see, let's start from here and let's do the whole range, just the full potential. All right, maybe it comes all the way to the very top of this 4-hour supply. So we're looking at 420 pips. So again, just because I say, hey, the short-term currency bias is consolidation for a pair, that does not mean that we will not get any big plays off of it, because we certainly can. All right, so but just taking a look at this pair, we do see where let's see if I let's grab this square. All right, we do see where this supply, right, was created, but it was taken out. All right, so right now demand is, is kind of in control, because we have other and I consider this, well, I wouldn't necessarily this, okay, this would be a supply, but these up in here, I would consider these to be like a transitional supply zones that were created. But if we take a look here, all right, these highs were taken out, as well as the supply zones that were taken out. So demand currently is in control. So pound USD, even though we have a short-term currency bias, I would be looking for buys when the market opens, right? Until demand has been taken out. And then now I'm looking for sales. Again, even though we have a short-term currency bias, is consolidating. All right. Again, we could have some, this pair could rally up or down. Right. So we could still catch some trend trades. Right. So and I showed you guys how, we could possibly catch some other trades as well. But again, we want to see who's in control. Right now, demand is in control. Right now, the buyers are in control. We tap down into this institutional demand or accumulation zone here. And what happened once price came in and filled whatever orders that needed to be filled? All right, we did push past this psychological zone of 1.18. All right, so I'm sure orders were filled off of that. We were even close to 1.175. All right. So I'm sure orders were filled off of that. But what happened? It began to move up. So right now for pound USD, based on our 4-hour chart for the most current price action, demand is in control. So for me, I will be looking for buys off of this pair until demand or supply is back in control. Okay. Move right along to USD CAD. USD CAD short-term currency bias is long, so we're going to be looking for longs on this pair. This pair is sitting inside of institutional accumulation. All right, here, so that already tells us that, hey, this pair most certainly can go long from this point. All right. We can see where transitional supply has been broken, right? As well as this demand has been broken. So really, this pair could go lower. We could possibly see this pair come into this 4-hour supply and push back down, maybe past this institutional accumulation. But again, we will be looking for longs. We do see where this demand zone was created. So maybe we'll get a pullback to possibly fill in the imbalance, tapping into this 4-hour demand and starting to push up. All right. So if I get a play off of that, if we don't have any other gaps or imbalance created, I'll be looking to take partials at this supply as well as this supply, if not going or pushing for this high here. All right, the high that was created here on the 4-hour. So short-term institutional bias is long. So again, we want to wait and see if demand is tapped into and to see if demand takes control. How do we know if demand takes control? You wait for your trade confirmations, all right, as well as waiting for supply to be taken out. Okay. All right, so let's move right along to yours USD. I hope this is helping someone for the week. All right, short-term institutional bias is short for the currency pair. All right, we do see where it ended. We've had a few taps into this 4-hour supply here. I don't think that this is going to hold much longer, but right now we do have unmitigated 4-hour supply here, as well as a mitigated institutional accumulation or demand zone. All right, so what we want to do is we want to see demand be taken out. Now, this is a mitigated demand zone right here that I have in gray off of this indecision candle right here that took out this high. But it has been tapped into more than 50%. So I don't think that this demand zone will hold, as well as this 4-hour supply may not hold. So we may get a play to where this 4-hour supply is taken out, and maybe the imbalance here. Let's see if I can make this all right a little larger, but we see where this imbalance is filled, all right, and maybe we get a play off of this 4-hour supply, even though we have tons of imbalance as well as 4-hour supply sitting in institutional distribution. All right, so we could see this pair very likely push higher to the upside before it pushes down. But again, we just want to wait. And I'm sorry if I am sounding like a broken record, but I really want you guys to get this, and I really want this to get ingrained into your brains, as well as it helps me to keep my routine. But we just want to see who gains control and stays in control, or whether it's supply tested, it's demand tested. Okay, within that testing, do they seize control? Right? Does supply, does the seller seize control? Does demand, does the buyer seize control? Right? And if they do, then we know which way we want to trade. But again, the short-term institutional bias or short-term currency bias for Euro USD is short. Okay, it is short. All right, moving right along to USD JPY. Guys, comment down below and let me know if this is helping you guys out at all. All right, USD JPY, we see where we had an unmitigated 4-hour zone right here, demand zone that was taking out. I don't know if I said it or not, but the short-term currency bias is buys, right? So we do have an unmitigated 4-hour demand that was taking out, and maybe this mitigated 4-hour demand here. All right, let's mark this as mitigated. All right, because it had already been mitigated here. We had price, leave it, tap back in, and leave it again. All right, and so for my rules, that is a mitigated zone. All right, so now that does not mean that that mitigated zone will not hold up, because there could be orders still waiting to be fulfilled there. But as far as me looking for high probable trades, that's not my thing. All right. So, but we do again see where this unmitigated 4-hour, right, was taken out. Okay. It was taken out, and they gave us a I will say they gave us a third tap, right? Actually, yeah, it gave us a third tap, because this counter came down and tested it once, tested it twice, and this counter came down and tested it a third time. All right, so we very well could see a push up from this mitigated 4-hour zone. Okay, taking out this supply. If that does happen, then we know that demand is in control. We know that the buyers are in control. And so we are most definitely looking for buy plays if this is taken out, right? If not, then we want to come down here, look for a confirmation entry to see if maybe we can buy this as low as possible, all right? Buy this as low as possible while the market takes out these 4-hour supply zones. I'm just curious to see. Oh yeah, this is USD JPY, so I don't have enough data to show me the institutional distribution, but we are a little ways away from institutional accumulation. All right. Um, but we do have tons of unmitigated 4-hour demand here, as well as imbalance that uh, could draw this market towards it. So again, if this demand is taken out, hey, I'm looking for what? I'm looking for this demand to be broken, turn into a flip zone, right? Whether it turns into a flip zone or if we get some other supply that is created that we can possibly, take this down, right? I know the short-term currency bias is long, but again, we can, before this flips long, we have enough reason as far as imbalance and unmitigated 4-hour demand for this market to be drawn to the downside, guys. That is a part of the manipulation. Yes, we're looking for longs, but we have to look for longs at high probable areas of interest, points of interest, your POIs, your AOIs. All right, we have to be looking for those high probable trades to trade alongside of the institutions. All right. So again, that's a part of the manipulation, right? Yes, we have that currency bias is going long, but where is it going to go long from? Is it going to go long from this mitigated 4-hour? All right. Will it go long off of other mitigated 4-hour? All right. No, guys, just because I have unmitigated zones charted, that does not mean I'm not paying attention to these mitigated zones. All right. That does not mean that, because this pair could come into a mitigated zone, all right, and it can give us a scalp. All right, maybe it's not a swing trade, maybe it's not a trade that we get in on Sunday night, Monday morning, and hold it until Friday, but maybe it's a quick scalp that, maybe it's a 15-minute trade, maybe it's an hour trade. It's just a quick scalp. So still pay attention to the mitigated zones, but again, for me, for my high probable or higher probable trades, I am looking for unmitigated zones to be tapped into. Okay. So again, short-term institutional bias for that, for USD JPY, and I keep saying institutional bias because I had to do a little switch, but the short-term currency bias for this is long. So we want to see where this pair is going to go long from. All right. And again, we're going to pay attention. All right. We're going to keep watch as to who is tested and who gains control. All right. Because even though we have this bias, that does not mean that supply will not be tested and gain control. Okay. Because the banks, they move, they switch up, and we won't know until next week. All right, we won't know until next week. All right, but as long as we uh, follow the technicals on the chart, then we should stay in control. All right, alongside the institutions. All right, moving right along to USD Swiss. Short-term currency bias is consolidation. We've already had our speech about the pairs that I have listed as consolidating. Again, we want to see who is in control. Right now, supply has been in control. Okay, uh, we have 4-hour unmitigated 4-hour supply, as well as mitigated transitional supply. Right, that is in control. Okay. All right. None of these have been taken out. this demand has yet to be taken out. So we want to see who gets taken out, or if we'll just be bouncing maybe some scalp trades off of these zones, or this supply, this demand, this supply, the same demand. So we'll just see. All right, we'll just sit back on our hands and we'll see. All right, once it gets into our zone, we're looking for our confirmation to get into the trade. We're looking for our other confluences, and we take the trade just like that. Okay. All right, guys. And again, while I'm thinking about it, when I say take those trades, remember where your take profits, all right, and partial profits would be. I want to use Boo. Okay. All right. Remember, we're looking for imbalance to be filled, as well as highs to be taken out. All right. These are the places that if we were looking for a buy, me personally, uh, these are the places I'm looking to take my partial profits, or move my stop loss up under market structure, or moving my stop loss to break even. However you guys want to play your risk management, your account risk management, then that's how you do it. But I just wanted to make sure that I threw that out there, all right? Because I want this video to be as helpful as possible. Okay. All right, so again, short-term currency buys for USD Swiss is consolidation. So we're just going to wait to see who is tested and who takes control. All right, and that is in reference to supply and demand. All right, USD Mexican peso. All right, short-term currency bias is long, so we want to look for some buys. All right. I think I did this. All right. Yeah, we just pretty much have liquidity. Uh, I'm sorry if that's aggravating me doing that, but we pretty much have liquidity that was built up there. I mean, we pretty much, I mean, you got liquidity, all that. All right. Some of it was already taken. Some of it was already taken. Let's see. Yeah. Some of it was already taken off of this 4-hour candle, but there's more to be taken, that where we can possibly see a tap into this 4-hour demand that is sitting inside of institutional accumulation before we take our trade, to the top side. Now we do have a transitional 4-hour supply here. Let's see, do I have something for transitional? Yeah. All right, so we do have a transitional 4-hour supply here that we want to be careful with, because this could have just played into filling in this gap before pushing down here, before pushing up. But if this is broken, then we want to see how this unmitigated 4-hour supply zone is played. Okay. So for me, again, I'm looking for the demand zones, whether they be transitional demand zones, or the full outright, if you will, unmitigated demand zones. I want them to be tested. I want demand to take control. All right. And I want to get in and trade alongside the institutions for my buys. Okay. Now we do have, again, this institutional demand or accumulation. However, it has been tested. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's just say 5. It's already been tapped into 5 times. All right. Buy orders have already been fulfilled 5 times. So don't know how long that will hold up. Again, we have unmitigated 4-hour demand down here. Enough reason for this market to be pulled to the downside before going up. So guys, again, just watch out for that. All right. Just wait to see who takes control. All right, supply or demand. NZD USD is another pair with the short-term currency bias of consolidation, we do see where this 4-hour supply zone has already been tapped into. All right, we do have 4-hour demand that has been tapped into as well. All right, I would say currently right now you would have to say supply is in control. Look, as soon as this 4-hour candle tapped into this 4-hour supply, it got pushed out, as well as the next candle was a bearish candle. Okay, so for me, supply is in control right now. We could have a pullback into this 4-hour candle, all right, that could turn into a transitional 4-hour supply, all right. But I think supply again is in control. I would, from the onset, I would be looking for sales on this pair, unless we can get like unmitigated, maybe this unmitigated demand or this unmitigated demand to be tested and for it to take control as well. So short-term currency bias is consolidation, but supply is in control. Supply is in control right now as far as this supply, right? Now, we did have demand to take out these highs, right? And demand was in control, but the most recent price action shows us that currently supply is in control. And so that's why NCD USD, I would be looking for sales until demand takes control. All right, move right along to Bitcoin. Short-term institutional bias for Bitcoin, short-term currency bias for Bitcoin is bearish, or we're looking for sales, we're looking for shorts. So let's see what our charts are showing us right now. All right, as far as unmitigated, I mean, we do have, I would call this a transitional. I would call this a transitional 4-hour supply. We do have imbalance. So, hey, when the market opens up, maybe it pulls back into this transitional zone, fulfilling imbalance. All right, fulfilling some sell orders as well. And then maybe we can start to see that push down here. If not, then sorry about that. If not, then the next thing we want to do is see demand be tested and not take control. All right, maybe we get some other transitional supply, or maybe this turns into a strong supply once this low is taken out. And so, maybe we get some plays off of this transitional supply or this strong supply. Once the low here, or I mean, I'm saying low, guys, but I mean, essentially this is a demand zone right here, right? This is a transitional demand zone, right? So maybe this demand zone be taken out, or however you want to look at it. If you guys are looking at market structure, highs and lows, or if you're looking at supply zones to supply and demand zones to determine what zones become your strong high probable zones, then however you do it, that's how you do it. But yeah, so we'll be looking for that to be taken out to give us an assurity that supply is in control for Bitcoin. I did a video some weeks ago, maybe a couple of weeks ago, maybe, talking about Bitcoin going down to 12,000, guys. And again, I mean, we do have an unmitigated, at that, it is an unmitigated institutional demand or accumulation zone with imbalance sitting right in front of it, right around 10,000. All right, so to be honest with you, I think that's where their pair is going. Yeah, we may get some pullbacks, we may get some big fish in here, trying to take some short plays. Maybe they're trading options, they're day trading to push this up. Watch out for the manipulation, because they will push this up. We do have unmitigated supply here, or unmitigated institutional distribution. All right, so be careful for the manipulation, because why not? Right? Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they take this market lower? Right? Why wouldn't they take this market lower to be able to buy as low as possible? Right? They will benefit more from that than starting to push this market up. So that's my watch, right? Unless or until, uh, I should say it like this: unless this unmitigated institutional distribution zone is taken out, I am not thinking about buys when it comes to Bitcoin, right? I'm not thinking about it, right? My higher probability is the to take the pair short, or to take Bitcoin short, however you trade it, right? It is to take it short, but they have every reason, right? Every reason in the world to take this pair lower before pushing it back up. Okay. I believe Bitcoin will bounce back, right? As well as Ethereum. Ethereum, it is the backbone of the metaverse. So I don't see Ethereum, the world just leaving Bitcoin, or just leaving crypto period alone, and forgetting about it, and thinking that it was a failed project. I don't see them doing that. But again, these big wigs, they're taking off, guys. That's all they're doing, is just they're taking profit, pushing this market lower and lower and lower and lower. So um, I mean, I really don't go over Ethereum um, inside of these weekly forecasts, but that's just my take on it, on Bitcoin and Ethereum. All right. So moving right along to gold. All right, guys, we're almost done. Thank you guys for bearing with me. And again, I hope you guys are getting some inspiration and just some confluence for your own trading, and confidence for your own trading as well. But the short-term currency bias for gold is short. All right. So we're looking for me, I'm looking for unmitigated supply to be tested and to take control. So for me, the next unmitigated supply would be the 1764.93 zone. All right. Or maybe we get uh, demand taken out and turned into a flip zone, or maybe the supply that took out the demand zone be tested and take control. All right. So, but we are looking for gold to go lower, along with the institutions, and a higher probability trades. Again, for me, it's starting at 1764.93. So we'll see how the market opens up, which way it wants to go. Again, maybe this demand uh, uh, excuse me, maybe the market comes down into this man, tests it, it takes control, and we can take the market up, with the institutions until they're ready to reverse this down. But we have been on a downtrend for a while now. Let's see, this high was made March 8th, 2022. All right. March 8th, 2022. All right. That's when this downtrend started, right? We've had some pullbacks, but for the most part, again, we've been on a downtrend. So maybe this, next week, again, it could be the week before we get us to get some pullbacks into these unmitigated 4-hour supply zones before the institutions begin to take this down. But either way, again, being supply and demand traders, waiting for our points of interest, our areas of interest to be tested and taken to take control. We can go either way, no matter what the bias is. All right, no matter what the fundamentals are saying, we can look at our charts and say, no, right now we're at a pullback. Right now, they're looking to take the market up higher. Guys, again, you want to what? You want to sell high, and you want to what? You want to buy low. So again, just remember, whenever I tell you guys about these biases, keep that in the back of your mind. If we're looking for it to go short, then yes, we want to what? Sell high. All right. So we expect the market to go up a little higher, right? We expect the market to go up a little higher before those sales take place. But again, what we can do is trade alongside the institutions, all right? And me personally, I just think supply and demand is a great way to do that. All right, so again, short-term institutional bias for gold is short. So again, we want to look for those high probable trades, get in, trade alongside institutions. Same thing with silver. Short-term currency bias is short. We do see where this unmitigated 4-hour has been mitigated. Let's see here. Once, twice, 3, 4 times, 5, 6 times. All right. Don't expect for that to hold. This demand has been mitigated once. It's sitting inside of institutional accumulation. All right. So silver could possibly just begin to tank from this point, right? But again, we do have unmitigated 4-hour supply as well as imbalance that could draw this market up, could give this market a reason to go higher so that the institutions can sell as high as possible. So again, keep a lookout for that, guys. All right. Move right along to US oil. All right. Short-term currency bias is long on this pair. We are sitting inside of a 4-hour. We are sitting inside of a 4-hour demand zone that has been taken out. So we will maybe possibly see this mitigated 4-hour demand come into play. All right, we could see this come into play and we could possibly see it being taken up from here, but we also do have 4-hour demand down here. All right, they're going to take it as low as possible before they buy. So expect that, all right? Expect that. Expect that to take place. So again, this demand has already been taken out. All right, we can see here, and let me zoom in close. All right, for me, if there's a wick, all right, if there's a wick, then that price did not hold. That price zone did not hold. All right, sorry, I'm kind of excited about it, but that price zone did not hold. All right, so that means, all right, and so this zone, all right, this demand zone was from $94.55 up to $96.49. All right, the lowest part of that demand was taken out, $94.59. This candle right here went down to $94.22. So this particular demand was taken out, and this mitigated demand was pushed back into. All right, it was pushed back into. All right, so maybe we see the market go up from here, but as far as this demand, for me, because of the wick, because if it wicked through it, then that price did not hold. So for me, the zone is null and void. All right. So possibly we see this mitigated demand take control again. Maybe we see it push up from here, or maybe we see this market push down lower again. We want to buy low, right? So maybe we see it push down into this 4-hour or the other 4 hours demand zones, all right, to trade alongside the markets or the institutions. All right, moving right along to the SPX 500, right? So all of our stock indexes, the SPX 500, the NAS 100, the US 30, they're all the short-term currency bias for those are consolidating. But again, that does not mean we won't get any big plays. We're inside of this mitigated All right, this is now a mitigated demand zone. Okay, so uh, orders being fulfilled, buy orders being fulfilled. We do have a 4-hour supply that has not been tapped into. It almost has been tapped into, but this imbalance has been filled. That's what this candle did right here. Um, so right now, what I'm seeing is that I would say demand, right? I would say demand is in control right now. We really don't have any significant um, supply that's holding up. Now we do have this transitional supply that was created right here. All right, I want to give it the title of a strong, high probable supply zone, but we do have this transitional supply right here that has been created. It did kind of take out this small demand right here. So, but we're inside of demand. All right, it tapped in and it drew up immediately. All right, immediately. All right, so I would say demand is in control. I would be looking for buys. Maybe it's just some scalping buys off of the S&P 500 or the SPX 500 rather. Maybe just a few scalp trades until stronger supply or stronger demand is tested and takes control. All right. So again, for the NAS 100, all right, short-term currency bias is consolidation. All right. So right now, we are seeing, let's see, we did tap into, wow, and it was unmitigated. So we did tap into this unmitigated institutional distribution or supply zone. All right. It came in, broke minor structure, if you will, broke a minor demand here. So right now, for me, supply is in control. It also broke this low, or yeah, it broke this low right here. So supply is in control. I'll be looking for either this. I'm really gonna give it just the title of a transitional zone. I'm possibly looking for this transitional. No, this is not transitional. That took out that major low right there. All right, so I'll be looking possibly to see this 4-hour supply to be tested, maybe to see it take control with our confirmation trade or confirmation entry, and possibly see it taking out these demands here to continue lower, guys. We are in a recession. Things aren't looking looking up right now, but we'll just take the trades as they come. We do have a mitigated 4-hour here at the top of this institutional distribution zone, so it's very possible we could see the market draw up to here so we can get a higher price to sell down from. Okay, so but right now supply is in control, and from the onset I'm looking for sales even though we have short-term currency bias as consolidation. All right, US 30 short-term currency bias is consolidation for this pair as well. For me right now, demand is in control on the US 30. We can see where it came into this demand zone, which was unmitigated. All right, this developed throughout the week, but it came into our 50%. This demand, it took out other supply zones here. Um, so for me, demand is in control. So from the onset, I will be looking. To take buy trades at first, some scalps, but maybe we may get a longer swing trade into the institutional distribution as well as unmitigated 4-hour zone that we have here on US 30. But again, guys, you just want to see who's in control, buyers or sellers, supply or demand, who who's tested, and who seizes control. All right, guys, that is going to be it for me. Thank you so much for tuning into this week's supply and demand weekly forecast. I hope this has been very helpful for you guys. Please comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what pairs you're going to be looking to trade, whether it is any of these major pairs, crypto, energies, or stocks, or if you'll be trading some cross pairs like the pound yen, pound NZD, euro Swiss. Let me know what pairs it is you'll be trading, and let us know the outcome. All right, guys, until next time, always remember, if you stay in God, you will stay in control. Until next time, guys, happy good fishing. Bye-bye.